Muammar Gaddafi has been the ruler of Libya since 1969. To commemorate his 40th year of rule, we filmed this special TV interview. Tell us about your early life.
I was born and raised in Libya in a tent. I was in a lower class family. I always hated the Italian rule over Libya when it was a colony. I even led revolts in high school against it, which got me kicked out. But later on, I became a politician.
All right. How did you gain leadership?
Well, there was a king, his name was Idris. He was appointed by the West to rule over Libya after World War II. Since Libya had become technically a uncolonized country, he had a Western ruler appointed. And I believed that my policies would be better than those of Idris. So I led a coup with about 75 officers while he was gone, and I took over Libya and became ruler. I don't really have an official position in the government, like you can't say that I'm a dictator or president or anything, but I do have ultimate leadership, and I actually do technically have to be obeyed.
So what was so bad about King Idris? What made him such a bad leader?
Well, he didn't really take sides on anything, like when there was, for example, the war between Israeli and the other Egyptian or the other Arabian countries. He didn't take any sides. He didn't take sides with the Arabians, he didn't take sides with the Israelis, which kind of left our country to be swallowed, and there was no one to help us at all with anything. They could attack us at any time and we'd be gone because we have no aid. And Idris believed his policies enforced that we would get help from stronger nations such as America and the British and people like such. But I didn't believe that that was the correct path. I thought that we should be defending for ourselves, so I thought I could install better policies.
Okay. What have you done for Africa?
Well, first of all, I obviously, as I previously mentioned, I led the revolution against King Idris, after which I immediately installed many policies to remove all foreign influence, including the evacuation of over 2,000 Italians and removing air bases from British and US air bases from Libya. I also set up policies for the oil, which before, when King Idris was ruling, it all just went to other countries. It didn't help our country at all. Now we actually gain profit from it, and it makes our country better as a whole. In 1980, I released all political prisoners, including coups against me, which there were over a dozen of them. And later on, I formed a nationalist Union of Republic Arabs, which didn't last very long, but we did have it for a while, and it was very helpful. I have made many attempts to unite Arab countries over and over again.
Now, many people have called you a terrorist. Why would you say these accusations are made?
Well, basically because I've given money which support terrorist organizations, and also because they called me a terrorist when I attacked a U.S. ship. But the U.S. ship was directly in our Gulf. It was essentially our territory. They didn't call it our territory because technically they say, well, if it's not, we only own 10 miles out from the sea, and that's our area, and they were in the Gulf, which was not 10 miles out, but it really was our area. And so, because we threatened to sink their ships, they called us terrorists. Also, we have funded other countries, which they use their money to commit terrorism. The reason why we gave them this money was not so that they can do their terrorism. My only the only reason I did this was specifically so that I could become friendly terms with these countries, most of them being Arabic, so that, again, I could unite the Arab countries as I've been trying to do. Well, I didn't really care what they did with their money after that.
Alright. What are your plans for Africa?
Well, it's not specifically for Africa that I care about so much as it is, again, for Arabian countries. I plan to unite all Arabian countries before I die, and I would like to create one Muslim superpower as it was before, rather than separate states as it is now, because it would profit all Arabs much more now.
Well, I guess we will see what happens in the future. Thank you for doing this interview.
Thank you.
A controversial though truly influential leader, the lasting impacts of Gaddafi's actions will linger in the Arab nations for years to come.